This is the best knot to use if you have to tie a knot to anchor to something that you're rigging. In this case, we're pulling a truck out of the mud and we're using a mini skid on the other side. Now, it's attached to the mini skid with the rope bollard, which is ideal. But over here, we don't have any I-splice in our rigging rope. So we have to choose a suitable termination knot. And this is the double loop figure 8 on a bite. It is a great knot, excellent strength retention. It shares that load between 2 bunny ears, and it's not impossible to untie after extreme loading. It is still extremely difficult to untie, but compared to other knots which would be welded together after this type of loading. So yeah, this is what we're pulling out of all that mud. I think we're through the worst of it. Use a shackle with this, get this set up. Throw that right there. Alright, so here's the 2 bunny ears. They share that load. They're adjustable when you're tying the knot. Let's go over here where the end. Alright, so they're adjustable when you're first dressing and setting it, and then to untie it, you just have to kind of break these crossbars off down. If your rope gets wet and muddy, you definitely want to untie it before it dries out, because the fibers will shrink as it dries. Anyway,
Where do you want the ramps?
The ramps, the skid can grab. Okay, now this one is going to give me a little bit of trouble, but let's see if I can get one of these loops out first. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually whack it on a piece of metal or a piece of concrete or something, kind of force those cinched up parts to kind of loosen. I'm not having to do that just yet. This just helps break it up. Push it down this way. Feed both of these. There we go. Anyways, that might have looked like it was really hard to untie. You could tie a double loop bowline on a bite. That would probably come untied easier, but I don't believe that the strength retention of that is anywhere near the strength retention of this double loop figure 8 on a bite. So the double loop bowline on a bite might untie a little easier, but you might break your rope sooner. This is just a fantastic knot, and it's not that difficult to untie afterwards, even though we put a serious amount, I mean, you know, probably a couple thousand pounds of pull on it. The skid weighs 3,000 pounds. But it was pulling with everything it had. I'll go ahead and demonstrate how to tie it. When you're first learning this knot, it's actually easier to just kind of lay it down on the ground. You're gonna make a really long bite that you can do a slip figure 8 with. So there's my fish, and I'm gonna break its tails, pass it underneath, and then instead of passing this bite through, that would just be a figure 8 on a bite. We're gonna do a slip figure 8 on a bite. We're gonna pass a bite of our bite through, okay? And then we pull it through to there. And then we take this little section of our original bite, which is now our tail, we pass it over these 2 bunny ears that have emerged. And these are now the bunny ears. And we are able to adjust their length by simply pulling one and then you can pull it through to the other, or you can go the other way. So you can actually equalize this knot to 2 different anchors. Like you could make one bunny ear longer than the other if you wanted to. But in the case of like hooking up to a winch or a shackle or whatever, we just want them to be the same length. Anyways, that's the knot, and it comes untied even after heavy loading, and it's got really good strength retention. So it's a good knot to know.